All right, I'm starting. Anyways, I've got my second cup of tea I'm drinking. It's like 10 after 6. And so it's light outside. And it already feels like something's jumping time. Like it feels like last time was just as fucking weird as, like, every night has its own weird, fucking unique thing. Last night was weird as shit. And so, and the energy is intense, dude. Um, So this morning I went out to feed the birds, and I'm gonna do the epoxy on my mosaic table out there. It's a pretty big table too. It's the first one I ever did. So I hope that it turns out good with the epoxy because anyways, that's a whole thing. I'd be art video or something. But so when we just were outside and I was moving my bike, I was moving some stuff around and fed the birds and stuff, and it was really clear. And it wasn't like warm or anything. Yeah, although it is like a blizzard over in like Wyoming. I don't even know what all places. Montana and Wyoming. I've seen videos. The and it's like a major snowstorm. Like there's so much snow. It's June. That's so ridiculous. I think there's some weird shit going on in Canada too. There's weird shit going on in Canada with the medical and stuff. Like and so many more people are sounding like me. Like, video after video after video that I see on TikTok, and it's like all these people sound like me now. The but the it's so foggy. Just all of a sudden, this is so foggy. It's like, oh my god, it was so fucking irritating too, because whatever the fuck that they spray down on us, that it caused so much inflammation, not just this runny nose and eyes, something that's been so constant, this constant mucus, which of course is going to make it harder for the things I'm fighting behind my eyes because there's so much mucus from all of the fucking shit that they spray. And I just saw somebody talking about that the reason why everybody has joint pain or whatever. I don't remember how the whole thing went together, but it was just like what I was saying. All these things I'll say, and then some video. So I share these videos. Somebody said, why do you have all these videos? Why is there all these links? Because it's always, I don't know. Sometimes I think, just watch some more videos. Like your questions will be answered. Um, and if you think I'm strange, nobody's holding you here. Go find somebody who you're in alignment with. But in the videos, uh, uh, some of the stuff will be stuff that I have talked about, and then somebody's showing information about it. So, because I am not basing it on that, I'm basing it on my intuitive, how I see things. And so and I've been talking about some of the stuff for a really long time. Like there's way more people talking about it now, but anyways, just whatever. So whatever they're spraying is causes allergies. And then the damaged part that I'm working on, well, I have a couple of things because I still feel like this behind my belly button, and I know there's like a lot of internal scarring from surgeries and stuff, but there's always an element of pain or grief or something associated with those things, to release pain and stuff. The pain is there for a purpose, to show you, to draw your attention to something you need to heal. And so and I have, my eyes, well, I've always got to be working on my brain, but my eyes got so bad for a while. It was pretty worrisome. Especially that was still when I hadn't fully given up on Western medicine. But they'll just take you down the toilet. Like, they'll take you down. They don't give a shit. They'll try everything that's bad for you until you can no longer breathe. So that's how they run. But So the damaged part, then there's inflammation. Inflammation will have mucus. Inflammation has like a lot of plasma, white blood cells. It's like, and that creates lymphatic problems and stuff. Then and that creates disease and like cancer and stuff like that. Uh, so the inflammation that they're because they're creating it on purpose, and it creates like joint pain, which creates like this aging process, which is something that they are triggering too. And I don't know, there's something big on cortisol or something. But anyways, I can share that video too. If I keep trying to make sure that I share all these different ones when I run across these, because they're interesting. When you hear the people explain it, I can just see where there's problems. But anyways, the inflammation, like I knew there was something up with this inflammation. I could tell when I would get a lot of allergies, then I would notice there was a lot of joint pain, and I knew that that was coming from inflammation. Just think about what it is that they use in their system when they are going to go against joint pain, like Advil or something. It's like an anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is what causes pain. Fuck, maybe it's getting even more. Like I'm constantly having to take a deep breath. It's like, I don't know. It's got to be something with the atmosphere, something with I don't know. And maybe it has to do with all of our individual frequencies or something, how it affects us. I don't know. It's intense, man. It's so intense. I swear to God, I don't even know how some people are doing it. Especially like I was thinking, well, how are people who aren't even spiritual doing this? Like they've got to be freaking out, man. This is so intense. And but then my guidance was that when they don't have any awareness of that, they just it's like people just categorize into what they understand, and it is creating a confusion is what creates the people to wake up and question things. So they've all got to become uncomfortable. But I have a bunch of things rushing in my head. That's what it's been like too. It's like, oh my God, there's so fucking much noise in my fucking head all day, all fucking night. It is like, oh my God, this is so intense. And then they'll crank up the goddamn fucking thing, the high-pitched frequency sound, and then it's like, oh my God, then you're like trying to gasp for air all the time. And then anyone you talk to, like around here, it's different conversations in the 3D. Like if you get a bunch of people, like me, and we're all sitting around talking together, our conversation is going to be very different. Just like all of you guys are having the awareness. Like you talk to people, it's like, it's just different. Like to us, it can seem like it's super shallow and like, like, who cares or whatever. Like there's so much deeper stuff. And, but that's the 3D life. That was 3D living was, keep it on the surface. So anyways, but it's like a frozen pond that's going to start cracking. Oh yeah, because all the cracks of all of that other thing they had showed me the other day with all those cracks going. And so like the ice pond, the ice is getting thinner and thinner. Oh, it's so funny. Some of these little skating on thin ice, because it is like they're all skating on thin ice. It's getting thinner and thinner, and it's shattering. And it's going to start being where they're going to start dropping through. They're not going to be able to stay in the shallow. They're going to be forced into, oh God, it just gave me this like overwhelming feeling of that, what it was going to feel like for so many people. It's going to be intense. This is going to take empathy and compassion. This will not be the time to be, it's overwhelming. Jeez, wait a second. Because Because just as deadlocked as these people are in their reality, you got to think this is ripping their reality apart. Ah, man. Um, and there's a lot that is going. It seems like a lot with the money stuff. A lot. There's a lot. Like, I mean, anything could go at any time. Uh, and today is a weird thing. I want to finish saying about this inflammation thing, because it was going so much, like even what I was talking about with the aging being fake and stuff. I'm seeing more videos of people talking about that, and the lack of minerals, the poisoniness, and all that stuff is what is aging, and aging isn't real. I saw one guy doing a video that we should be able to live at least 350 years, and that the reason we're not is because of all the things I say. So there's lots of videos of people either doing research, connecting the dots, figuring it out, like getting more in touch with themselves and all that. But they want to keep everybody in a sense of stress because of the cortisol, because it puts so much out of your domino inside of you, like your domino circuit board, and each thing needs the next thing to hit into that thing. And so they like to disrupt it. That's why there's all these hormone disruptors and metabolic disruptors and stuff that they interject into our stuff. And like I was saying with the spraying, is that I was uh, noticing all this joint pain. And then I'll always notice that Stella will start whining, and I'll be like, oh, so she's got all this inflammation from all of this, whatever they're spraying on us or something. And is, I'm not sure, you know, what it is, but you can notice the side effects. But when it creates all of this mucus and inflammation up here in my part where I have an injury, then it makes like the injured part worse. And I'm having a really, really weird thing with this eye, and it's been kind of tripping me out I started noticing it a couple of weeks ago, and I was noticing it really hard yesterday. And it is like when I'm outside, especially, is, and I think it's the artificial lighting inside, even though we have artificial lighting outside, but the more broad spectrum, I guess it is. It doesn't cause any friction on this film or something that's on my eye. What I would assume is something to protect it. Oh, there's everything is so micro, macro. Like I can't even stop and explain all the things as they show me. Sometimes it's just like this wave of, you just see something. It's like, oh, whoa, okay, I get that. Oh, but it's like, fuck. And some of the stuff, it just is my own stuff. So about, you know, that healing my eyes and all this stuff. So anyways, it's like my vision is becoming more clear, and I'm having this really weird thing, especially right in here where I keep on getting this thing. Like, I don't know if there's like a bunch of worms, but the thing is that even when they're not in big worm, all of the pockets, that is how they create tumors. The pockets are like a nest of parasites, but the parasites can be microbes. It can be little bacterias and stuff that get together and form an attack. And then that's where a tumor forms to encapsulate and hold them prisoner. And that's why there's problems when you remove tumors and stuff, because all of the stuff goes out. But that is why with Stella, I've been really hitting hard with the horse paste. And I'm putting her back on the antibiotics right now, too. As I was reading, I keep trying to figure out what is this smelly vagina problem. And I had seen something about it could be an abscess in the anal gland that would make it start making it smelly or something. I was like, oh man, she does have a weird thing with the anal gland. When I used to go to the vet and they used to do it, and they'd always say it's like way, way far deep and it's hard to get to. And I don't know if she doesn't push hard because of her hips or something. I don't know if no dogs can get it all out. Like, I don't know. It's something about their DNA that they spread around. That's why they go to the bathroom in places. It's not just because they're going to the bathroom in places. That's why they're so particular about where they smell and go, because they're leaving their DNA, and that's what they're smelling is these other dogs scent. And then it's like certain, very strategic. And I'll notice sometimes it's like a calling card for Stella. Like she'll go, I don't know. Her and Betty don't really have beef. It's another golden doodle. So I know it's just anxiety, but Betty comes running out and they don't have a fence or anything. And so Betty is misbehaving, but she's really good about going back when they call her. But yesterday there was a thing going on and the bus was coming. I was like, oh my God, I'm pulling Stella. But Betty's out in the street dodging in and out. But anyways, everything seems like there's just drama. There's so much drama on people's videos and stuff too. But, what was I saying? I don't know. This is how my brain has been. It's so fucking all over the place. And you know what I'm doing to combat it kind of is, hold on, because this would be hard to explain. It's kind of like, being at a party. Sometimes that stuff is, all those powders. It's like being at a party and there being a whole bunch of noise, a whole bunch of stuff going on. And say somebody has anxiety or something, it's stressing you out and you can't leave the party because you're with some people or whatever. And so if you can go over in a corner or find your own little place or whatever, and it's like go into your own space, and then it's like make a conversation and that you are a part of, that you are, I don't know, some of the times it's like I just keep repeating something in my head and I'm like, why am I repeating this? It's like I can't get past it. And I'll try and focus and it's like, oh my God, there's so much noise. There's so much fucking going on. I can't even believe it. It's like chaos. And so it's kind of like find something to focus on. And even if it's just to keep repeating it, just to keep your mind to you, I swear to God, because it can get lost out there. It's like super intrusive too. There's intrusive thoughts. There's so much energy. It's so intense. And you don't know if you're picking up on your neighbor's energy. You're picking up on energy that's trying to survive, that is trying to attach to people. Like, I don't know. It's like very intense. But it's been a couple days where it's just nonstop fucking noise. And yesterday I kept noticing, I kept repeating these same things. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like, well, I can't get past that thought. It was like, that's too crowded. And so then I was like, then I like tuned in to all the noise and I was like, oh, it is so fucking noisy. It's so chaotic. So, okay, I'm just going to go back to that thought and keep focused on that thought, even if I have to repeat it. Because sometimes I can take something and just go into another world, just go into another place. But it was like being stuck at the door or something and it being too much of a crowd. And I don't know if maybe you have to have your mind more open to universal consciousness to understand what I'm talking about. I don't know how everybody else's mind works. So I think some people would just feel a lot of anxiety and stuff. Like, I don't know how people couldn't be picking up on this energy, this intenseness. There's so much intenseness in the energy, the sounds. I don't know. It just feels like something's gotta give. And, but so whatever it was that they're draining on us, then, so it's this mucus, this postnasal drip. I mean, your nose just drips and drips and drips, but it's totally stopped up. So it's, putting something that's creating an inflammatory process, and where, you go to the doctor, oh, that's allergies, go take this pill, they've got really good ones. Okay. Um, just keep on spraying me, but I'll just take a pill and try and make it. Then, so it's causing the inflammation and joint pain. Yesterday, I had so much hair falling out. It was starting to stress me out. I was like, fuck, am I about to go bald? Like, what the fuck? Motherfuckers. I'm so sick of their shit. And then I was outside doing something. It was really sunny all of a sudden. So I put on my swimsuit and I went and sat outside. And I just love sitting in the sun, even if it's the fake sun. I don't know. There's something about I've always loved it. And then the oh yeah, so then after that I was doing, oh yeah, because I was fixing the cushions on the little couch thing, and I was bent over, and this was, I already had come in and gotten dressed and stuff. I was trying to think if I had already taken a shower, because I left and went to the store, which was oh my God, it was so weird. It was so weird driving. I had to go to 3 ATMs to get cash. There was, oh God, see, it's like, fuck, man, this is so intense. Oh, so anyways, whatever, I was out there, and I was, had a dress on, and I was bent over fixing these cushions, and it started feeling like something was stinging me all over the place. And I had just been talking about that. And I was talking about it a few days or weeks ago too, that sitting outside and all of a sudden it feels like something is stinging you, but there's nothing there. And sometimes it will be like, not like constant. This was like a whole bunch. It was insane. I was getting so freaking pissed. And so then I came back in, and I was like, okay, so whatever little nanobot particle shredders that they are dropping, that when they hit you, it hurts. And then, yeah, it's weird. It's weird because, oh, that is, okay, so like some of those guys, maybe I know these are the guys that my daughter is talking about, these APEC, those guys. But I think we think of like WEF and the CDC, all those guys. So the one they were talking about, I've seen a few different videos, but something about programming us and all sorts of stuff. So it's like there's a certain group that know how to work us beyond flesh and blood. Like they're still working on this concept of flesh and blood with us. But you gotta remember, so much stuff is it's you're programmed to believe something, and so you believe it, so therefore it becomes your reality. And that is where we're going through this changing our beliefs, changing our understanding, and that's what changes our reality. That's why we start being able to live longer, and everything changes. And realizing what it is they're doing. But so they have this part of them that they are still going at us with the flesh and blood, and because they know that they can attack that and make us sick, because they've already spent so many decades making us weak. And they've been doing it for such a long time, but they reached a level of being able to, remove consciousness. And it's like a whole nother level that they're working on. And so it is like these little nanobot things you can drop. And the vision, what I saw was like it drops down like a little moon landing, and then it drills down and goes in and invades. And so they could go in an instant, be able to invade the system, because They're attacking like our electrical system. It's like it's like what I'm saying, like another level. Like if you thought of us as a computer and they were creating a virus in our programming, but now it's like they are gone to another level. Now they are. Now they are. It's like it's like trying to override the system. That's what a lot that with their experiments and stuff too with that voice to skull thing. That is everything's experiments. They're always experimenting on us. And they have all these different people that they oversee and stuff. Like I just saw this guy and I had just been talking about it had just been standing out to me so much, especially on the radio. I go out just like yesterday, and there's not a single time that I could go out and I'm not gonna get they're all fucking the time Canadian Health Service commercials. And they make like the fucking Canadian health is like the fucking God's gift to the world. Really? You let a lot of people die. As a matter of fact, you try and promote it, motherfuckers. Lying son of the bitches. And they push and push on the blood donation thing. And so, when you start seeing all of the bullshit with all their espionage, fucking sociopath science, and no wonder they're fucking supreme religion Scientologists. Like, they're fucking all these weirdo motherfuckers. Then the blood. So they're always asking people to do, the right thing, and people depend on it. You save somebody's life today. Go save somebody's life. And so please go donate every minute of every day. Go donate something of you. Give it to us. And it's big money too. Like, it's big money. If you go into the stuff, this one guy did this video and he was saying it's a bunch of bullshit. The Red Cross was even started by Rock, that fella. That so you're donating back to them, and that's why that cross that's red doesn't do shit when they're all these things. They are the first one on scene because they want to grab up the lost kids. That's what they're out there for. They're not there to help people or anything like that. That ends up being a bunch of bullshit. And that has been seen, I think it became into my awareness during Katrina, it seems like. But it's been out there over and over and over when you start paying attention to what happens, especially after the aftermath, after the big sensationalized news story. And then you start, it was bad. And then I like New Orleans, and I have gone and seen, like, still fucking damaged. Like, man, they just are out to destroy us, it just makes me sad. Yeah. There's a lot going on in Ireland too with in the housing thing. The housing thing and it all's gonna go on together, but it all gets people to be thinking and looking at things, and so all the stuff has to keep playing out. But anyways, so it's big money. When the one guy's video, he said he thinks they're just throwing the blood and the parts away and stuff. They just want you to donate. And no, it's big fucking money on some of that shit. It's especially like if you're selling it to labs or growing things, growing food, feeding us our own cell. Oh God, this place is too much. God, oh, I can't wait till this part is over. Fuck. And it's gonna go because there's all these people that don't know this shit. We still got to go through just playing it all out so everybody can cry in their Cheerios. How many people do you think I've eaten? Ugh. Like, a lot. It's a lot. They did one fucking quarter pounder. There was like 13,000 DNAs in it. It's like, oh my God. And the person doing the thing was like, I think they were thinking it was all 13,000. That's 13,000 different cows. It's like, dude, that is a lot more than cow in there. I'll tell you that. So they, so anyways, there's big money in these parts for whatever fucking reason. I know there's something real weird about the kidney thing. And the only thing I've heard about that is that they put it in food and it's addictive. But like, Jesus Christ. You gotta just go fucking kill everybody, steal it. Like, what the hell? Like, it's kind of extreme. And then all this donating and stuff. So that is, I had been noticing after I kept hearing these fucking commercials all the goddamn time. Do your part, donate, donate, donate. And then it had these, like, I swear to God, they're like commercials. It's like the same people doing them too. And all these dramatic scenes in the hospital and shit. It's like, what do you have, a fucking camera crew at the hospital? What are you guys just filming this on a lot? Like, what the hell? This is ridiculous. And all this to try and get us to, if anybody in your family is sick and dying, just let them go and give them their parts, because that is what is important here. Passing your parts forward. Pay them forward. It's like, fucking hell. And then when you start seeing this stuff about, oh yeah, brain dead, that's not even real. That's not real. They just do that so they can get those organs while they're hot. Like, well, that's cool. That's super cool. Especially for all of us people who have had people die from, which is a lot. A lot. There's I don't know. These videos that I've seen of people saving animals lately, because there's been so many, and animals getting hit and being just like falling over. They can't even move. They can't, they're breathing staggered. They're having seizures, all sorts of shit. The people are just trying to take care of them. And then within a couple days, they're up and running around, playing and fine. And I know like a human can stay in like a coma for a long time when it's healing its brain. Like my brain getting damaged, it still has got parts it's healing, but it does seem like to me that it heals and gets better, even though you have certain deficits that are more like, there's some things that you learn to manage yourself different. And that may be like where they say you develop new pathways because you just figure out other ways of doing things and stuff. But that is also a development, and that's also a development you wouldn't even have if you were just stuck on your own pathways. So there's always a benefit. Even when the worst things happen to you, there's always a benefit. There's always another side. When the bad thing, oh, that's so trippy. It is almost like, life is almost like if you took a coin and spun it, and it spins back and forth from each side of the coin, spinning for your experience. And so you get to see both sides, but there's been like the dark, so people haven't, it's I don't know, because there's so much to our experience that there has not been where people, it's okay, so it's more like their attitude, it's more like how they look at things isn't based on the full spectrum. But it is weird how it is like, if something bad happens, then something good will come from it. If something, well, that's what it kind of is like. It's not like just like if something good happens and something bad follows, but that's how the cycle ends up going because the coin is spinning. And so that is the yin and the yang, how it works together. And see, that is the natural universal law, because there's nothing you can do about it. It has like the head, it has the tail. Like there's an end to a beginning. There's always the beginning and the end, and it has to go together. And it is like, I don't know what that is about the snake eating its own tail or something, but I don't know if that is some kind of a thing, but that is this universal uh, energy. It has certain ways that it works. And so there is this, it's that cause and effect. But that's the thing that people need to notice in their lives, are just these patterns. Not get so caught up in the dramas, but realize their patterns, their pattern events for you to learn from. And so when you're in the crux of it, which so many people are at this point, because this is the time that it is supposed to be happening. So there's so many people in such a in the bad part. But that's the thing, is once you get through the bad part has things for you to grow, for you to learn and to profit from through the experience. Once you get through that and you do your healing and learning and growing, that is when you start seeing the good things, the good part. That is why you don't want to get stuck in the pain part. And what holds people stuck is fucking not trauma. Trauma is like the event or something. And the thing inside people that holds them is guilt and shame. Guilt and shame are so freaking hard, and people turn that so much stuff into guilt and shame. Watch how this just goes when this event thing happens and people are just forced awake. The guilt and the shame, it is going to be, and that is what people really got to learn to process, guilt and shame. And to me, the woulda, shoulda, coulda goes right hand in hand with that. That is where you got to go more into your spiritual side and realize, like, you're here for a purpose. You're here for this cause and effect, for this thing to play out. You weren't there to stop it from playing out. You were there to experience it playing out. And so all the different things, even things that people think, well, I would never want to experience that. But it wouldn't have happened if you weren't supposed to experience it. That's impossible. So everything is perfectly set. This is what is that called? When it's it's not a rehearsal. This is the real deal. So yeah, everything is on point. You got your costume on, your script. You know your script and stuff. That's life. It isn't. It is not a rehearsal. This isn't. You can't make changes. Like, this is it. And so, but being able to go through the process and learn from what your experience is the point. And then there's a benefit. There's a good part that comes from it. Like, there'll be so many people who, there's going to be so much losses of houses and stuff, but what they're going to get is going to be so much better. I saw this one lady I've seen often who talks about the QFS, and she said that it's already going. I don't know. Today is some weird thing with this holiday thing. This is weird. And I kept trying to say it, but everybody. So yesterday, I went to the store because my check went in early. Social Security has never gone in early for me. It has never changed from the third Wednesday since they allowed me to be on it, which was when I got my brain injury. I worked for the state, luckily, and I had really good insurance. And so I had a long-term disability because I had been paying for long-term and short-term disability when I worked at the hospital through a different company that I had my life insurance through. And then when I got my injury, that snowboarding injury that I talked about, where I had to have, I had to be off work a couple of times. I had to have surgery. It was a very long, drawn out thing. It kind of put me off going and doing some of those kinds of sports and stuff. But anyways, the surgery. Okay, so I had long-term and short-term disability at the time, and I tried to file and get, and it was bullshit. That's where I started seeing, okay, this insurance thing is some bullshit. So, I got rid of that insurance. And then, so I didn't have any. And when I went in to get the results of them, because I had to have all these tests done, I had so many tests done. And, but when I went into the what was that? The person who tests, like, to see if you've got, like, Alzheimer's or dementia or what's up with your brain. You have to do tons of tests. It takes a long time. And the first one I went to, she just sat there. She would not give you an answer or anything. The second guy, when they wanted me to retest it again, the second guy was feeding me answers and then told me, oh, you've improved. But it was, so the state had me on this insurance that was good insurance. And so when she told me, because how she told me, she called me in and told me to bring people with me to get the results. So we went in and we're sitting on a couch, and she, I don't know, I think she apologized or whatever. She said she had to turn me into the board, the licensing board. She said it would hurt her license if she didn't turn me into the licensing board, because there was no way I could be working. And I was like, what? And so anyways, that turned into a whole thing, because I was trying to get under the Disability Act and trying to get my work to allow me to keep working. And anyways, it was a whole thing. But so that insurance that I had, that they started me on the short-term disability when I was going through all of this. I was having to get a test. I was trying to talk them into letting me work. It was like a whole thing. I was also having the nursing board sending me threatening letters telling me if they find out that I've been working with a brain injury, that I could be held accountable. They could make charges on me and shit. So it was very stressful. And then at some point, then they turn you over to long-term disability. So once you get on the long-term disability, then they start going after Social Security, because they don't want to pay the whole thing themselves. So they try and get the government to pay some of it, because they have to go and they have to figure out what your wages were. And then whatever your wages were, it's the same thing as like how they do on unemployment. So they look at, I don't know, 2 years or a year and a half or something of your work time. And I think they take your best quarter, and I was a workaholic, luckily. And so they take your best quarter of how much you made, and then they give you a third of that as your income. Then they don't want to pay the whole thing. So then they go after Social Security. So they hire lawyers to get you on Social Security. So I didn't have to go through the same thing. The lawyers were doing it the whole time, and I didn't have to do it. And they would, but it was the same rigmarole as the other people when they try and get Social Security or SSI or SSD or whatever it is for disability, is that they keep denying. They did the same thing. It takes 3 or 4 times, but luckily I wasn't having to pay these lawyers. But sometimes it takes lawyers to be able to get you on this government disability. And so once I was on, it's always been exactly like the third Wednesday, always the third Wednesday. And it's been a long time now. I was trying to think yesterday, has it been 7 or 10 years or something? And, you know, the third Wednesday would have fallen on some holidays in all that time. I know it has fallen on some holidays, and it's never interrupted it. It's like an automatic payment. It's not like somebody's sitting there in the place sending them out that day. It's like the government has it set where it just automatically goes into your account on whatever date. And they've got them going, millions of them, to all these different people. And supposedly it's supposed to be giving us, you know, our own money back that we earned. But that this whole thing is all just a bunch of shenanigans. So then so yesterday was Tuesday, so today's the third Wednesday. And so today would normally be the day that I get paid. And I talked to the car place, and so that's a whole fucking ordeal. So the stuff that he has to do now, so he's got to clean my sunroof, to clean out this hose thing that gets stopped up, that causes my car to leak, that causes the parts to get all flooded and breaks the parts. And so just on that part that he's going to fix next week, that's $500. Then the part that the water broke is 900 and something. So then and it's on back order. So, and they don't even know. Could be on back order all summer, they said. They don't have any idea. And supposedly there's going to be some next week. So we'll see. But anyways, I can't pay any of that until the part comes. So once the part comes, then I have to give another $1,000 to buy the part. Then once the part goes, they're going to send it to this other dealership. So I've got to get it to Bellingham. So I don't even have, like, it's not like I have somebody that can easily just drive me up there. It's so irritating. All this stuff is, it's just the irritating things going on in the world right now. Just it's like to push us. And then, and so to me, it's always like, if it starts making me irritated or mad, it's like, okay, I got to figure out how to get out of that. Like, to figure out, like, why is this making me mad? Why is this irritating me? There's a lot of irritating things right now. So, and you got to be real with your irritation too. Like, everything is you figuring out you. So so once I go next week and get that part fixed, then I'll have to wait and get the other part. So when I get my next check, then I'll have to go get that part. Then it's going to be like another $1,000 to put the part on. And so then I have to pay and get that. So it'd probably have to be the next check. So I'm going to have to do it in a couple of different checks, because it's going to end up being like $2,500 or something. And I bet, I mean, if I go and buy a van for $2,500, what's the chances that it's not going to have issues, and I'm going to have 3 broken cars sitting in my driveway? It's not going to be room for anybody to park. So I got to fix this one for now, at least. And then it's like out of my hands too. And then I was like, well, maybe if that part stays on back order, I think in the middle of July or something, I think I'll just drive there and just go with the fucking hazard lights. I was thinking, man, I would just go on the state highway. It takes like an hour and a half longer or something. But I was like, well, it's more in the back roads. There's parts where you have to go like 35 miles an hour and stuff. It's kind of a pain. I was like, well, maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. I'm just like, fuck. Every time I think about, like, I don't know. I'm really sick of going over those passes. Like, they're intense. And so the car thing, what was it I was going to say? Because it was something else that led me into the car thing. But the car, so I've got that. And then once I get the thing with the part, I've got to get somehow to Bellingham, get my car to Bellingham, and then get back from Bellingham, and then go back to Bellingham and get the car. Oh my gosh, this whole thing is just like, everything is like to push it to be harder and harder. So anyways, with that, I don't know. I just got to kind of wait and see what happens. But so I was talking to them, and they were telling me this stuff on the price and stuff. So that's when I was going on my phone and looking at my stuff and my calendar and my bills and stuff, trying to figure out, like, okay, if I paid this much on that day, so if I get this one part fixed now, then I'd still have some money left for the part, but I wouldn't have all the money for the whole part. So I'd have to wait for the next check to get the part, unless they'll order it and then I can pay when I get the part. But I may have to pay, because it's such an expensive part, I may have to pay ahead to order it. So that's what it was sounding like anyways. But so that'll be the beginning of next month when I can even get that part fixed. So but when I went on and I was looking, then I thought, well, I wanted to see how much money I had in my account, to kind of figure, when I was figuring it. And when I went in, it was like, my check was in. I was like, what? That's weird. I even went in and looked. It was like, yeah, that's my Social Security check. Like, what in the hell? That is weird. Why in the world would that be in early? Then I saw some more people talking about the money thing. There's supposed to be something yesterday, I think, at 6 p.m. It was supposed to be on the East Coast. There was something on the debt calendar, the debt thing, the debt clock that was going to change. And I don't know. I don't know if this is an old video or something, because I had seen somebody share the debt clock last week where it all went to zero. I showed that video. It's like 000. And so this one lady was saying that all all your debt is gone, whether you know it or not. So your debt is gone. So and see, that's what, like, all signs seem to be, but I don't want to, but there's still uh, nobody's evicted me yet, even though, I mean, we'll go see how this continues to play out. But I feel like that we've already won, like that part. Like the rest of it is just to kind of show, to have it play out, because it's just got to play out a certain way for people to see, and it's got to be blamed on certain people, so it's got to all play out. And but so but I don't know, it sounded like there was supposed to be some stuff going on with the money thing. And so I thought, well, this is so weird, my check being in a day early. So I was like trying to figure, like, why would that I don't know, it was just messing with me. When I went to go to the store, nobody had cash. ATM was out, the store was out, and went to another one, and that's where the ATM was out, and the store wouldn't give it, and the other store wouldn't give it. And then went to the next one, and so then I took out some extra cash. I was like, well, I better get some extra if it's going to be like these machines are running out. Even though the money's not going to have any value, but supposedly there will be a part, and we just got to see how it plays out. There's expectation that there will be, you could use cash for a minute, because people won't understand what is really happening when they won't be able to access their cards and stuff. Like, cash will be important, like, whoa, get some cash. So people will think like that is something to hold on to, and think it's just like an electronics thing or something, but it's the actual currency has no value. And that's all going, like the BRICS and all that is already doing this whole thing on the petrodollar, and they're making it, they're just weeding us out. They're just freezing us out of the whole thing. But that's the way it has to go. It's not like they're trying to be mean. They're trying to get rid of the bankers and get us to wake up. So so I was seeing, okay, so something weird, my thing's in early. Then I had told a few people that my check was in early, which was weird. It was another thing too, because I said another thing, and I said that this was weird, and I said my check went in early. That was weird. And then I had to go 3 different places to get cash, so all those things seem strange. And then, oh, well, your check went in because it's a federal holiday. Everybody was saying that. My mom was even telling me, oh, well, call Social Security. I am not, are you kidding? What? Why did you give me my check early? No, I'm not gonna waste time trying to call them. I'm just trying to say that something's off, something strange is happening. Well, they probably give it because it's a holiday, it's a federal holiday. Well, why would that affect my check? Like, what would that be? Why would they give it to me early instead of it just going on its automatic thing? So they went in and changed it to make it go in early, because it's never gone in early before. So that's different right there. And so, and I think it's been like Christmas or something on one of the days that I had. I've had some big holidays on my payday thing, and it's never gone in early. So I'm like, no, that was weird. Like, why they would give it on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, or something weird. I think it's just to get us to think about something, talk about something, just notice something's off. Just, The whole thing, just like them putting the dragon on the Empire State Building and stuff. Everything is just to get us to like, what? Now it's weird. And then it does get people to go look it up because everybody's like, oh, it's a federal holiday. It's a federal holiday. And I don't know if because they're all off from work or something. My mom's not off, but my daughters, where maybe they're going to be all off. I don't know. And but is this, what is this? Well, Flag Day? And then I was in Juneteenth, the 14th, and now it's the 18th or 19th. Like, I don't even fucking know what fucking holiday it is. Like, I swear at this point, they're just coming up with holidays. They're just coming up with like, oh yeah, this is the day we always celebrate. Like, I don't remember this. I don't remember a holiday on a Wednesday, like in June. Like, I don't know. Especially when it's going to change my automatic deposit. Like my other one, my other check that goes in, it's not set for the third Wednesday or the second Tuesday or anything like that. It's set for a specific date. And so it is set for the 9th. And on their thing, if the 9th falls on a Saturday or Sunday, then it goes in on a Friday. So it will go in on the 7th or I think the 7th or the 8th sometimes. It's like a couple times a year that it will go in on a Friday rather on a different date. So it'll go on 7th or 8th rather than the 9th. But on the third Wednesday thing, it's just set on the third Wednesday. So I still say there's something up. I still say there's something going on about the money. There's definitely some stuff going on with their war stuff. They're definitely still foggy, even though the sun is coming up, but they're still like, I don't know, it just irritates me because whatever their fumigation and then the heat it does something. Oh, it's so aggravating. And then they have these neobot things falling on us. And you get all this inflammation. And then if you have any weakness inside of you, like you have a weakness with your heart, your lungs, like, and they are attacking a lot of people in their joints and stuff because it does make people feel older and stuff. And mine are so stiff, like trying to do exercise. And that's like why my back hurts and stuff. And then I'm seeing a whole bunch of people talking about like that these certain things, all these symptoms are these ascension symptoms, which people have been saying that for a while. But there was some that I had just started having. It could still be the spray thing, but this like I can't catch a breath. That these weird pains and stuff like that, where there's people saying that is something about your body reformulating itself into crystalline body or something. So, I don't know. I don't know how with all this stuff. I just know that this stuff is happening. Like I'm getting all sorts of inflammation, all sorts of pains and stuff. And then it can start like this whole autoimmune thing in your body too, where your body starts fighting and it's all these things, all this stuff inside of us. And it causes all this disruption inside of you. So this whole thing that is keeping us from living 350 years, that, and also they're programming us to think like we're flesh and blood and, we get sick and then not cutting us off from our spiritual side. Because if you were attuned to your spiritual side, then you would recognize that your body is representing information to you for you to heal. And when things come up, it's not your aging or sickness, it's that you have something that is trying to be purged out of you, and you gotta let go of it. And that is kind of like because in so many past lives, and you did hold on to shame and guilt and carry things, they become a part of you, even though the stories aren't, like as a soul, that the stories aren't you, but they like affect you. That is the thing too, like how the watchers, they don't have like those of us who are here, like we're boots on the ground when you go through like reincarnating and going through all of these experiences. Then that is like you do have like war wounds and stuff. And that is why this period of time of healing is happening, is so you can heal all these like wounds and stuff from all these different lives, so that you can let go, because it does hold you down, it weights you down, and it does kind of trap you. Because the people who can't let go of this stuff, it will keep them trapped in that dimension, to have to keep playing stuff out. That to me is like hell. They have to keep playing stuff out until they catch on and heal it and stuff. And the thing is that, but see, they keep everybody from their spiritual side. Is when you get to your spiritual side, then you will be more active in your own healing, because you understand the importance of it, of letting things go, and that you carry things from other lives and other experiences. And then you have these people cross your path that bring up these other, or trigger these certain feelings inside of you, so that you can purge out this old these old parts of yourself. And so so and it's kind of but it's not like you stay trapped, because when you leave your body, you're a higher dimension. Like it can't hold you back. But it's like okay, so like if you took a spectrum of color, like a rainbow or something, and so you put the rainbow, and you put the dark colors down at the bottom. So the dark colors, and then the lighter colors, lighter colors, lighter colors, lighter colors. And so in each spectrum is where your soul would vibrate. So your soul, like how people say, like people have an aura or something. And how, like I say, like each, like your soul group is from your general vicinity, like so you so you're in this spectrum of color. It doesn't mean you're just like in this color, like everything's that color. It's like the vibration is, it's like a representation of things, of like a certain kind of like, like the difference between heaven and hell. Like where you think of like the heavens, or everything's perfect and beautiful, and then here in hell, it's still beautiful, but it's challenging, it's hard stuff, it's stuff that is very painful to go through. And so that is the density. And so the so like when your soul is like up higher, say you are in like the orange kind of, or the red kind of realm, and then you get birthed into this game, into this reality, and it's over and over and over and over and over too. So it's not like you're just sitting there. No, it's like kind of like how you think of gamers, like you're constantly playing games. And that's kind of what your soul is more like. It's a constant state of creation. And so you go into these experiences, and then that drop, like in this game, like we drop down into a lower density. And so you go from like up here, where you're in like the gold, or orangey kind of, and then you drop down here into like the dark blue. And so it's way denser, but it's cool things, because you get a feel, you get a taste, you get like it's a whole new experience. And just think about like in the sci-fi movies and stuff, like what they do with how they would show like these other reality things, but this being able to feel it and stuff. So that is this draw that we have. It's like you get to go in and feel and see what it would be like and stuff. It's like a virtual reality where you get to experience it on a whole nother level. And yeah, that's trippy, because that reminds me of Westworld. So the people who go, and so they drop down in here, and it's kind of like people get kind of lost in this density. But I don't know in every other place, but here where we are in this reality, this realm is where people have been tricked, and so they are they aren't like the regular selves. And so when they come out, they go right back to where they were from. It's not like that they would be stuck having to be down there. So it's not like that they had gained anything because they didn't work on anything, release anything, or grow. So they stay stagnant, like in the game. Like when they go back into to keep playing the game at the same level so that they can try and level up. Once you start doing your leveling up, see, then and you start learning and growing and conquering and letting go of things as a soul, then you start moving up. That is this moving up like the gods or something. You start moving up into the higher realms where it starts becoming like this light pink, this like white color. It's like these other realms of lightness. But see, you have to let go of a lot of stuff to get there. And that in order to let go of it, you have to go down into the other realms to let go of it, to go through the process, because up in the other ones, everything's so great. So in order to really grow, it's like going into the trenches. It's like working hard, but then there's a real benefit, a real payoff, because then you just naturally elevate. You keep elevating. But that's when I believe that is when you take on your lives as like what I'm talking about is like with recognition of what you're doing here and actually using your time beneficial and working on yourself. And that is when I think that is when you start elevating up. And that's what the draw is. Like you definitely, everybody's elevated all the time throughout this. That is why, even though you have all these people that keep thinking like all these people are NPCs and stuff like that, but everybody when they're in lower chakra is on autopilot. And it's like you got to recognize when you were on autopilot so that you don't think like something's wrong with these other people, but just on autopilot. And then people get so in their ego thinking, well, everybody's supposed to wake up when you wake up. Well, what about some of us who were awake before you were awake? Why didn't you wake up when we woke up? It's like you got to learn how to just be like, everybody has a certain time in their awakening to see what they're supposed to see. And it has to do with what they need to heal, what they need to look at, and what their soul group is here to work out and stuff. It's not for us to judge and decide. That is when you're in some sort of egomania that you have to learn how to, reel in why you think that you need to be in control of everybody else and why everybody needs to be living the way you believe they need to live, why they need to see the things that you think they need to see, why they need to pay attention to what you think they need to pay attention to, why it is you can't just learn how to respect each individual as being on uh, their own ride, their own seat on the ride. And even when you think about the rides, think about like there's different cars, then there's different seats, there's all different perspectives of every single ride. And then that is having respect for the universe, is to understand that every single person's perspective is just as valuable as yours. And it's so funny too, is because some of the people who are in so much ego, but it's like the watchers watch them and think like, well, why are you so stuck on that? So why are you so stuck? That's what they watch, to see how this stuff plays out, to see how like when we figure it out, when we see what event causes this chain reaction, what is the cause and effect, because that is like what the universe is, that like that's what is kind of like what they pay attention to, this cause and effect. because that is what has value. How does something get from here to there? What gets somebody to make a change? What pushes somebody in a certain direction? And so that is what we are all here kind of showing and experiencing. And that's why every little choice that we make has value, but you were never going to make a different choice. You're always going to make the choice that you made. So you can't sit there and drive yourself crazy. You got to remember, this is a scripted event. You came in to play a part. And so don't get all hung up and caught up. And then don't, when you see like that you made a mistake or that you did something stupid or foolish, don't get all mad at yourself and get all hung up. That is also an ego thing. It's like, why do you think you have to be so perfect? Who are you trying to be perfect to compare yourself to? Like, you're trying to be better than everybody else? Because there's nobody perfect. We all make mistakes. We all do dumbass shit. But that's what we're here to do, is dumbass shit, and then see ourselves and then learn from it and make different decisions, different choices. It's just this constant rotation. Like the coin is just constantly spinning to show us so we can see. And so it is nothing to get all caught up and hung up and feel sad and belittle yourself because you didn't know soon enough. You should have known sooner or faster. You should have taken action sooner or faster. It isn't about that. It's more about what is being viewed as your reaction to yourself, is how you kind of treat yourself, like what it is and how you treat others. Because yeah, some stuff really turns people nasty, really turns people ugly, turns people into taking advantage of people, hurting people, not caring about other people. Like there's a lot of stuff that is uh witnessed or has value to the learning, the overall learning. And that's the thing too, is like the soul. Sometimes to me, it seems like not like the souls, like the ones that are experiencers or creators. It's, man, it is, it's not like, they're low on the totem pole, but they're definitely not up. There's definitely a lot of beings that are way over, uh, man, but there is, I don't know if there is like something, like if you are too toxic, if it is that you are just merged back into other energy to kind of make a more balance. But it's like, but once you become conscious of yourself and you take responsibility for yourself, so you can't be merged back in there. I don't know, there does seem to be some type of a graduation kind of thing with this ascension thing, like a sense of accomplishment. Is I don't know if there is like this thing where when you're not, and you just do a lot of like if you're just very negative and toxic and you can't get out of your patterns, and you're not moving forward and you're not healing and you're not looking at things more in depth. But I don't think, it's not like they would put you in, like you go in 1 or 2 lives and you're just not catching on. No, I would say it would be a long time. And maybe this is that time of where there is this, like, some souls go forward and some souls go back in on the drawing table or something. Like, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I would say though that the universe gives a long, long time. I know there's a lot of people where it seems like, man, they just seem like lost. So I don't know if at the end of the stuff, I don't know. All I can tell is that there's definitely a value to consciousness, being conscious of itself and taking responsibility for itself, not being the victim, not it's somebody else's fault. Everything is somebody else's fault. It's not your fault. And that graduation thing. But I'm still not saying like the people who aren't awakening, because that's not, we still have this whole thing with the awakening to go. So I'm not saying that. It's more of the people like that don't move forward, because there's people who will still pass and move forward into the age of Aquarius. Is like they'll be able to come in. It's gonna be different. But there is like, there could already be in this other realm of existence. We aren't there yet. But it's more of like with a Sumerian tablet guy, that guy who wrote that book, saying when the awake, or the, I don't remember what it's called in there. In the Book of One, it's called the harvest. In the Mayan thing, it's the time of mirrors. These different prophecies have different times or whatever that they call it. But so when it goes in this separation time, because there's going to be people who stay in the negative, but their part is watching how the positive plays out. So that will draw them in, because there will be more people that will go in that direction. That's what's going to be kind of confusing, I think, is how all these different things, because it's like there's a group of people who who have been pushing from the back of the line, been pushing forward the whole time. And so they've pushed through, and that is driving in a new direction. And so that group of people will be in the forefront. And when the energy changes, there will be a lot of eyes on a lot of these people. And they will be the people kind of giving direction to a new mood. And so then there is a group that's right behind them. And that group is aware, is motivated, but is confused. And it's like they're not spiritual or religious. Oh, some of them could be religious, but it's almost like the religious people are further back, because they are so stuck on this one story. It's like the more open-minded you are, the less things that can hold you back. So this next group that goes right behind them. So when this starts going really good, it's going to affect these other people, and that's going to motivate them to go in a certain direction. It's going to all of a sudden be like, oh, it's going to make sense. Then it's going to be the third group. That is going to be the ones that it's going to be a lot of religious people, not. There's going to be a lot of confusion. There's so many people who are waiting on Jesus to come. And they are sure he's about to be here and stuff. Like, and they're sure he's taken away all their things that they ever did wrong. They don't have to feel that pain and stuff. You got to feel the pain, the things you did wrong. It's not like you just ignore your shame and guilt, pretend like you've never done anything wrong. No, you got to face it. Because when you face it is where you see your pain and your trauma of what it is that motivated you to be in these certain ways, that got you to behave in a certain direction. So that is what you're healing. But these people are like cut off from their healing because they're handing it over to somebody else. Here, Jesus, save me. And that's like impossible. You can't be saved from yourself. And everybody knows that. Like, you have seen lots of people just drive themselves down. So it's up to each person to save themselves. And so that third group, that one, and they're very reliant, in this third group, they're very reliant on the medical. I think that there's like, the second group, I feel like that they are more focused on government, but a lot of people focused on government are also focused on religion. So they can be in this second or third group. So there's there's good people in all these groups. It's not like, oh, well, this third group, they're full of a bunch of criminals. They're just going out and stealing from people. No, some of the people who are going and doing bad things, it's out of fear, out of like their intentions aren't bad. It's more of out of the Sumerian tablet book thing, what that guy was saying, it was more of the people who value Gucci over another human life, like that they think it's more important to, carry a fancy purse as you walk past people who are starving on the streets. Those people who don't value human life and stuff. So they have a more of a darkness or something. And those people, like, I don't know if the people who just don't care. And also you got to remember, these are people who have played out other lives in other situations. And then they could also be people who are just playing roles to motivate us. But to me, it's the people who like just do evil shit. Just do evil shit to other people and just don't have any empathy of what they cause. That would, to me, be the souls that get reabsorbed. Is like there's only so much the universe wants of that or something. Like I don't know, but I know that you would get a long, long time of trying to heal and stuff. And I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff with all this soul stuff and consciousness and stuff. All I know is in what we're doing here and why we're going through this is because we are trying to graduate. We are trying to work on ourselves and let go of things. And our motivation, even though a lot of people can't remember it right now, is this age of Aquarius time, this time of unity, of heaven on earth, this blissful time that we get to have this experience where I think it still is in a density of being able to feel. So it's not like, because you go higher and higher in density and stuff, then you can't feel. It isn't like flesh and blood, like what they tell us with this density. So it's like we're going to go up, but I think we're still going to be in this density of being able to feel and experience and taste and smell and stuff. I think we're even going to advance our senses into more depth. But that is why, people would be here at this time, because it is a time of healing and growing, and it's like a conclusion to a period of time. And that's why I said for like the soul, this is like going full circle, the ending of an age. And so it's like our time of glory for us to benefit from all that we learned from all the different lifetimes. And that's what they have got such a disruption in getting people distracted, getting people away from their spirit, misdirecting them into religion, like all these different things. But everybody has a spirit inside of them, and everybody's spirit has to be woke up. And that is why we're in this awakening, is to get everybody's spirits to wake up and take control of the vehicle, because we got all these people on autopilot just crashing all over the place, not paying any attention, and there's so much disruption in our energetic field. And so that is and that's what causes all this chaos and stuff, this intensity. So if you are feeling a lot of intensity, it's feeling like your brain's in a scramble and stuff, you can try that, focusing and trying to find something to focus on to get out of all of the noise and stuff, because it is intense if you are noticing it. It's like you can't think through all of the fucking noise. So so that's real. That's not you going crazy. That's really happening. This intensity with the energy, people's behaviors, just everything. Even you probably notice in your own self the intensity of how you feel, like things are bringing up something in you. It's just like, oh, just pissing you off and stuff. Feel your stuff. Don't try and hide from your being pissed off. But that's where you got to find balance. You also don't want to be a rager, be out of control, just everything makes me so mad. You don't want to be like that. You want to, this is a period of time, like if you have been a rager in the past, this is a period of time for you to learn how to control your anger, feel your anger, acknowledge your anger, be real and be truthful, but don't let your anger take over. Don't let your anger take control of the situation. Don't let your anger put people off from you. Learn how to be your best self. Learn how to control yourself. If you're needy and whiny, then learn how to be more independent. Take some steps to do something that is more independent. If you always feel like you have to have people around and stuff, which I completely get it, and you feel like being alone is very lonely to you, go and challenge yourself. Go do some things. Go out to a place where you know, it's hard right now because like this is also a very shaky time to be going anywhere. But you would want to challenge yourself, and talking to strangers is really good one. A lot of times you can get a lot of feedback where you will all of a sudden see like, oh, I'm so likable. These people all like me. Everybody, and they all laugh at me and they think I'm so funny and stuff. These things that you wouldn't have seen about yourself. And a lot of people, when they keep it safe, like in their own little protective bubble, with family or friends, well, you don't realize that you start beginning to lose yourself trying to please others in those type of relationships. That's just natural. It's not like anybody's doing anything wrong. There is people who will make more demands of you, but that is where you got to learn how to have boundaries and stuff. So you can see all of the things going on right now are all about learning and growing, elevating yourself, becoming your best self. And that's what you're here for. Like, that's why all this stuff is going on. And that is why one thing is ending and another is beginning. Because what is ending is this toxic, artificial, shallow world that was there to mislead us, to keep us from becoming our best selves. In the process, we'll lose some people. Like I don't know all the different things, but I know you can't be lost unless you're supposed to be. Like it was always going to go that way. So it's not like anybody can do anything wrong. So don't get mad at people, whatever they're doing. It's not up to you to get mad at them and think they're doing it wrong. That's you being judgmental. And so you just got to catch yourself. So anyways, that's a lot of rambling. A lot of rambling. I don't even know if I finished everything I was talking about. So just remember, do all of this stuff. You got to learn to love yourself, love everyone else, and have a loving day because it's by choice. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.